Welcome back. Here I have open Adobe Illustrator and is a document already open, but I'm just gonna go and create a new document. You go to File, New, and make sure first of all that you are on RGB mode, and then for the size, for the width, I'm gonna choose something like 2000 pixels and as height probably something like 3200 pixels. And here I am. I have a fresh new document. So first of all, on Illustrator we're going to try to create the gradient, and here is a really nice technique I'm going to show you, something that I have discovered some years ago and I keep using it, and I think is the best tool to create gradients. So first what we're going to do is go and grab a rectangle tool and just draw something like this. Doesn't have to be to cover the full document size. I'm gonna take off the stroke and oops, and I'm gonna fill it with a dark purple. For this technique, I usually really like to go with a dark bluish purple color. So I'm gonna go here and change the color a little bit more darker. So yeah, this is something that looks good. So now the tricky part is that you have just created a rectangle and with one solid color. So what we're gonna try to do is like split this in different grids and different points and make different colors on different part of the rectangle and create gradients. So the tool you can do that is like on the left side you have this, it's called the mesh tool. Just take this, and as you can see you have a cursor with a grid. So basically every point you click on that rectangle creates like a checkpoint where you can edit each of those points. Like here you can edit this and all of the other ones to create a different color for that part of of the point. So more you add, more dots, more points, more areas, spaces you have to add colors. But I wouldn't recommend to go crazy with it. I would probably just stick with this what I have now. So you go and get the select tool, and as you can see this rectangle is divided in grid. So basically what we're going to do now is like select one of these points and apply a color for that point. So I'm going to show you some shortcuts I use on Illustrator. So on your keyboard you press the letter A, the key A, and you tap this one. So as you can see this anchor point is selected. So for that anchor point I'm going to go here, make sure that's selected, and you double click there and you select a color. So for this part I'm gonna select a blue color. So make sure you press again letter key A on your keyboard and select different point. But for this case I'm gonna keep shift pressed and select different keys and points. So yeah, and I'm gonna go change the color. I'm gonna make something more like purplish, like this. I'm gonna press still A on keyboard and go select different with shift to remember to select multiple anchor points. And I'm gonna go back again here, oops, to change the color. I'm gonna go with something more like red, maybe something more like red in here, which is more like highlighted. And then I'm gonna grab again the A, select few more, and I'm gonna go and change the color, probably maybe some dark blue, and then A again. Keep repeating the A thing. I guess you all got it now, so I won't mention that. I'm gonna go select a few more points, change the color, and maybe I'm gonna go with something more like pink into reddish. And what I like actually to do is like these colors go very well together, but sometimes I need something else, like one color that is not applied in a lot, but it's like only in few places. So usually for that I choose like a turquoise or maybe yellow. So I selected this point. I'm gonna select this point here and this one, and I'm gonna try first with a turquoise color, maybe something like here. Yeah, let's see. Well, I think looks okay. So I'm gonna add also maybe some yellow color to these anchor points. Maybe it's not like bright yellow, but something like lighter. And yeah, I'm gonna continue to do this, like add maybe some more red in here. You can choose different colors, you can experiment with this, but yeah. And I think the rest of this needs to be more like blue. And make sure you select also the anchor points that are outside. Oops, these I already selected, but like these anchor points, because they still have the dark blue from the rectangle we created. So I'm gonna go with a brighter purple, like this. And I have this anchor point and this without colors. So I'm gonna make them maybe still like this. And then select these two, maybe more, and make them a bit darker blue. And this one, this one, this one, make them maybe apply some yellow in this too. And for this one here, probably I'm gonna apply some red again, maybe this red into orange. And what I have left are these anchor points in here. And yeah, that's maybe this dark purple. Oh, I forgot this anchor point here. Maybe you can leave it just dark like that, but I'm just for the sake of explaining. Oh, and here is another one. Probably I'm gonna make that like turquoise, or I don't know how it's spelled, but yeah. So as you can see, this is like a gradient I just created on Illustrator. I know that Illustrator is like vector and it's not so good with pixels. As you can see, if you zoom into this, it's not that smooth when you see it, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna export this on Photoshop and we're gonna apply some noise and make this more like smooth and kind of play around. Something cool you can do in Illustrator before jumping in Photoshop, you can apply to this basically different like effects. For example, you can also from Illustrator you can press A, select one of those or like many of those anchor points we created before, and now after selecting these four, you can just drag. Yeah, like you can drag this rectangle and move it around. But you can, by pressing A and selecting one, you can also like move this and create like a more not so fixed gradient. So yeah, you can make that or like select a different point here. So I just played around, like you can go crazy with this and make like, I wouldn't recommend that you move them a lot because sometimes if you do this, it will look kind of like this line. It's like solid, but up to you what you decide. Also, something else you can do in Illustrator is go here and grab one of these tools, probably like the wrinkle tool, and as you can see, this is small, but by pressing Alt and Shift and keeping those pressed and dragging the mouse like you're drawing something, this tool becomes big. And now you can just press slowly on this and let's see what is going to happen. this happened. So I wouldn't recommend you go crazy with this tool. I don't know what's wrong with Illustrator, but if you apply it too much, it kind of gets stuck and it doesn't work anymore. I tried with the best computer out there and still it doesn't work and it gets stuck and loads for hours. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it cannot handle that much processing. So yeah, the next thing what we're going to do is copy this. Can go to edit, copy, and jump back to Photoshop and continue editing this in Photoshop. So